Okay, but I'll explain it. So, first things first, my name is Kenneth. My company is ILEG, Fusion Light Energy. Get this stand to play with me nicely. Fusion Light Energy technology screens. Make sure this guy ain't doing anything crazy around me because he does crazy stuff to me like I'm on camera. All right, so why do we block some emails? Well, emails get blocked due to the fact that if you're asking us dumb questions, we block you right from the door. Maya told you I paid for a security firm to go through our emails. So yeah, we put you in that. They put you in that particular file. So again, stupid questions get the block, and the reason why is because we have customers and we know customers. We've been doing business for years. And I know for a fact that when customers come in, they ask for they tell the type of the projector that they have, the screen size they have, pictures of where they want the screen at, if it's going to be near windows, if it's going to be outdoors. If those that don't have projectors are going to ask questions about ultra short throw projectors. That's a good projector depending on the size of the room. If it's going to be a portable unit, stuff like that. That's the usual questions we ask. They don't start off with a whole thing about a few things about the product, one thing about the product, and the rest of it based on a PC. Let me explain something to you again. If you're going to be talking about PC specs, we have a channel for that, but just so you know, we have other people in there that are professionals in PC building, so you might not want to go in there if you don't know what you're talking about, but you can embarrass yourself. All right, so got an email. It actually came back to us from the security firm. They blocked it already to put in a trace on it from the door. I like this company. It is beast. But anyway, we got one. And it's funny because the name that came back, we know this person. We literally know this person. He's actually on our PayPal account. So that shouldn't be hard to figure out exactly where his location's at and the documents we have to send to him. But anyway, let's get to this real quick. So, gain on our technology. We cleared that up many years back in the advanced ambient light rejection. I got videos that go back that far. Because we decided at one point that the demonstrations that we were doing, nobody was matching them. When you got demonstrations, you're producing screens on different levels that no other, like Black Diamond, other companies are doing at the end of the day, it clearly shows you're on a different level of game, especially when you have those companies contacting you about the performance of your product. So when we don't see screens out there with a 0.9, 0.8 pushing through windows, outside at 250 screens, 180 dual 150 inch, producing off floors, all that crazy stuff that we do, especially with that Halo system right there, I still haven't found anything. I went to the forum site with that and we ain't found nobody doing that at the end of the day. So anyway, we can basically name our game. As long as we can back it up 100%, not make something up, and then don't show any proof that it actually does exist. So we have a screen that eats sunlight. I can't come out here and say, well, I have a screen that eats sunlight, no proof of it. We got demonstrations on the screen absorbing 100,000 to 120,000 lux of sunlight. Advanced ambient light rejection. That technology can bounce off a ceiling and produce at 150 inch on a $60 projector, which we had tons of those demonstrations showing the screen turning the ceiling into liquid, stars, snow, the whole 9 yards. The FLE technology. Demonstrations of it operating outside on a 1,000 lumen projector 16 feet back off a cardboard box with no problem whatsoever. Keep in mind, the advanced ambient light rejection technology was also on site in multiple locations and was at the carrying place where it actually showed itself off running through the entire building on an ultra short throw and long throw projector in every single commercial environment building. We have videos of everything. So you got to be able to back that up. And then this new technology we have called Infusion Light Energy, which basically has the Halo system, which has a challenge sitting on it for that. And nobody wants to go near that, especially when you have to be in a commercial environment to begin with. Can't be home with that one. Got to be in commercial for it. All right. Now, again, we make our own game. We don't go by tradition because traditional screens are not in our category. We don't go with the ambient light controlled environment, calibrated projectors, high-powered machines, over inky contrast levels, and all that other nonsense that people have to go through in order to get a screen to operate in their environment after spending $3,000 for a projector. If you notice, my customers don't go through that crap, right? All right. All right, let's talk about these PC specifications. All right, so I hope you're in the room because this is going to be embarrassing for you. First things first, you don't know jack, and I'm going to tell you why you don't know jack. You forgot your motherboard. Your motherboard's missing. It's not on here in your specifications you have here. So The Res 7 that you have here, you didn't. What's the core? What's your core count on here? You didn't put that. It's 8 core. You're missing your core count. What about your thread count? Yeah, your thread count compared to the i7 129K that I'm picking up, mine's way higher than yours. Way higher than yours. But here's the thing. PC gamers really don't brag about specs to each other. We ask about specs. Like, hey, what do you got on that rig over there? I got the so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. Ooh, really? Like, that's what you, really? Seriously? So why'd you go with that? That's how we talk. We don't do the whole brag back and forth. We don't do that at all, period. We'll ask each other what parts you have on the machine. That's what we ask for. Because we're more, intellectual. That's what we are. Touch it all. We don't go through all that. Console gamers, on the other hand, you can't ask those questions. You know why? Because y'all got the same system. Well, now since some of y'all got that, when I bought that Pro, technically you don't have the same system. But if you did have the Pro, you still have the same stuff. Because you can't go back to the other one and go, well, I got something different than you. All you can go buy is your hard drive, and that's it. But other than that, moving on. Let me see. So he put down desktop. Why in the world would you have desktop there? You wouldn't have to put desktop there. If you could explain that you have a 5090, how big a 5090 is, even the low profile, if they even have a low profile version of it, even the low profile version of it from the door wouldn't even fit in a laptop. There is no way in the world that would ever fit in a laptop. But you have desktop processor. It's like you copied and pasted off something. No one in their right mind would even put down desktop. You would automatically know it's a desktop because it has a 5090 in it. Like, how in the world would you even fit that in anything else but a desktop? That right there is the first red flag that he copied and pasted this. He put down best CPU in the world. No, that's not the best CPU in the world. There's CPUs way beyond that right there. No. Let me show you right here. Okay. Let's go check out the benchmarks. All right. So, this is the i9 processor. This is what I'm picking up. Let's look at here. An i9 processor came out in 2021. It's a 16 core with 24 thread, right? And yours has an 8 core with 16. That means mine would be much more advanced than yours, right? Yes. And it came out in 2021. The Res 7 came out in 2024. Yeah, it's much higher. 16 cores over 8 cores? 24 threads over 6. Oh, come on now. Come on. See? This is why I know at the end of the day, you're not PC. Because a PC gamer would have saw that from the door. There's no way in the world they would have posted that. Ever. Never would have posted that. Because they know there's higher parts out there than what they have. Someone who doesn't know about computers would have posted, say, oh, wow, that's got to be a really high car right there. I'm going to put that up there. You should know this card's higher than that. Way higher than that. Yeah, not indeed, not, yeah, just somebody this is why your emails get blocked. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Now, I got work to do. I get to technology. We're over there playing with that, and we got the new stuff we're working on right now, but I'm gonna entertain this real quick. All right, so, he says, best CPU in the world. No, it's not. Let me see. RTX 5090, 32 gigs, DDR7, blah, blah, blah. Let's see, best CPU in the world. I would say yes, that's definitely true. And another thing too is power consumption for your CPU for the 5090. 5090s take a 575 in wattage, but you're required to have 1000. You need actually more than that. You need 1600, truthfully. And if I was doing this on a 5090, number one, it would have its own dedicated power supply. Definitely would have its dedicated power supply, which you did not add that in there. You didn't put in any liquid cooling system. What are you running to cool this thing down? Are you going to put dedicated cooling on this? Because keep in mind, I mean, since there's only one CPU on it, not two. Well, can you imagine if they start making graphic cards with 2 CPUs on it? That'd be insane. But anyway, what kind of cooling system are you putting on this to cool this down? This thing's going to generate a ton of freaking heat. So are you going to liquid cool it? Are you going to use an AIO system? Are you going to use one of those more complex liquid cooling systems with reservoir, pumping station, customized radiators, fans, the whole 9 yards? And if you're doing it with the cooling system, what are we talking about for RPMs for your fans? See, don't want to get caught in a room with me because it's not going to go well with you. And this is the reason why when we do this new gaming channel, you don't want to go in there acting like you know something because you will get embarrassed in that environment. See, people come in half glass will learn things. People come in full glass will get shut down and get embarrassed. A PC gamer is not going to come in there and act up and carry on that level because, again, he's among his peers. Even if you have a budget, we still treat you with much respect because you built it with your hands in the day. And even if you did buy and you did some modifications, at the end of the day, you're still gaming on PC. Doesn't make a difference. All right, moving on. You don't have nothing to prove. Our machines are more superior. That's why we don't care. On top of that, again, your console games are on our system. So, da-da. Anyway. Let me see. We have, let me see. Crosshair, Dominator, something, titanium, RGB. RGB is a light system that goes on top of, that has nothing to do with it. That's just a light system that they put on top of the heat spreaders. That's basically about it. 64 gigabytes of DDR5. That's not high at the end of the day. It'd be 128, 256, and if you got the money, a terabyte. You can literally get a terabyte of RAM on a system. It's insane, but they make them. So no, it's not, no. My system has an MSI digital motherboard. It takes 128 gigabytes of DDR5 OC. It sits on that board. Yeah, good luck with that one. Let me see. And again, for people talking, oh, you don't need a 5090 to game. You don't. You can run freaking PS games on a 20 series easy. Like God of War. You don't need all that power to begin with. As if you're doing a future build. Doing a future build, you would have all those parts because you're not planning to do anything else. You're just going to be on that machine, period. Let me see. Let's see. WD. The black. These are ones they use for the PlayStation. They put these in PlayStations. Matter of fact, Sony has their emblem on these things. This is supposed to be 4 terabytes. First things first, if you know anything, you know you can go over 4 terabytes. You don't have to spend all that money to begin with, because that right there alone is going to cost you a piece of change. You could break it down and use your, and you got these PCI slots. I call them shorts. Let me disconnect this. So you see this right here on my board? You probably don't even know what the board looks like. You didn't put the board down. See that little slot right there? That little tiny slot right there will allow me to hook up an expansion slot for the M2. PCI Express expansion slot for M2. See, you gotta know what you're talking about, man. Gotta know what you're talking about. Can't come on here with the hula. See right here, this has a fan system on it. Keep them babies nice and cool. So if you, instead of you going out, the breakdown, instead, let's say you get like, you get the M2's 2 terabytes at $100 because they're pretty cheap, the 2 terabytes, right? But if they put one slot on there, if you want to upgrade to like 8, you got to spend like 600, 700, 800, maybe 1,000. It probably went down a little bit since last time I talked about it. That's what you got to spend. You got to spend a large chunk of change for just a higher M2 because you only have one slot. Where if you have where you can put multi slots of M2 solid state drive at $100 a pop for 2 terabytes, you got 4 slots there. That's going to give you 8 terabytes at $100 per stick, which means you're going to spend only $400 for 8 terabytes. Ta-da! Including the one you already have sitting in your system, the extra slot you have there, which is going to bring you up to 10 terabytes right from the door. See, the thing about it is, you can name parts. You got to know your parts. You got to know how to break down your parts, how to modify them, all that stuff. I'm a modder at the end of the day, so I modify stuff all day long. This is what I do. We modify stuff over here. This is what we do. Yeah, we modify stuff. See what I mean? If I want to change something out, rip out my power supply, change whatever the frick I want. See, we modify stuff. I'm actually building a cooling box. A cooling box. We got these fans in the back. These ones I have actually right there. the RPMs on it are beats. I found that there were 4,000 RPMs for those freaking fans, and they don't even have. They blow so much air, and they're not even freaking running through a fan speed controller. So I got this idea. I'm going to build this freezer box with it. It's going to have a liquid cooling system with a something between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 or 7. Something it's going to be 7 or 8. There's a lot of fans on it. Compress into a box that's basically going to have this thermal aluminum shield that causes it to cool the system. Oh, it's going to be sick when we get done with it. It's going to be sick. And the same guy I was telling you about the whole liquid cooling system. M2s generate heat. So I like to do vegetable oil. And that's what I'm going to do, a vegetable oil PC, compressed PC. And we're going to be using a coil system in order to cool down the vegetable oil, because I told you how the heat disperses off the CPU. It has to go somewhere. But if it's a liquid cooling system, we can drop that temperature down. I got one down to 17 Celsius, which I have it on record. 17 Celsius, we can drop it down there. But also, too, remind you, you got remaining parts sitting in here. So an M2 stick, at the end of the day, can be run under vegetable oil. Because, again, it doesn't use a disc. This you can't run because it's going to slow down. It's going to stop reading memory. It's not going to work at the end of the day. But an M2, if you drop that in there, it'll run perfectly. But M2s generate heat. And that means that now, even though you have the liquid cooling system dropping that temperature on that CPU, that M2 is going to generate heat. And that heat has to go somewhere. So we make this liquid cooling system connected to this copper block, and we drop this thing in there, it should cool that temperature down. Now, for the person who wrote that, did you understand anything I just said? Right over top of the head. Because you know why? You didn't put your liquid cooling system in there. I noticed that. So what are you going to cool this thing down with? I mean, you're going to do a separate cooling system. This is going to require you to have like a Y adapter ATX, which you're definitely going to need for that. In order to run two liquid cooling systems, he's going to need two for that. He's going to run 2 power supplies. Some people run 2 power supplies. They have a dedicated power supply just for that particular card by itself, and then another one for the board. So you're definitely going to have to use a Y adapter, use an RGB, of course. It's going to look pretty at the end of the day. You want to go with that. But anyway, yeah, you can use this. This is how you override your system. Now, the problem with the PlayStation doesn't have that particular port, and that particular port doesn't allow you to be able to expand, nor do you have SATAs on it, which will allow you to even override that. Now, keep in mind, if I want to do 10 terabytes on this, and then with the SATA outputs 3.0, I can put in roughly 10 terabytes per slot, which would I have on here 4. Do you have any idea how much hard drive space that is? That's ridiculous. You would never even use all that, but you can have it just for the sake of having it because you're on PC. All right, let's get back to these PC specs at the end of the day. And you're missing your motherboard, by the way. Where the freak is your motherboard? Because I'm not seeing it on here. I'm seeing everything. Look, people. Look through it here. You see a motherboard on here? How are you hooking this up without a motherboard? So we have right here, we have is Red 7, which again, I told you that an i9 129K would be way higher than that. And then he put down desktop processor. Why would you have to put down desktop processor? We know it's a desktop. You have it because you copied and pasted that off of something. Because no one puts down desktop processor, especially if you're running a 5090. And how the freak would you even fit that and anything else but a desktop? Then he puts down world's best CPU. No. Let me see what we have here. 64 gigabytes of DDR. Again, yeah. Most boards that carry a 5090, and he even put down like what's your PCI Express port? Is it like 4.0, 5.0? Of course, if you're running that, it's got to be 5.0. If it's 5.0, your RAM on a 5.0 board, which is going to be probably an LGA 1700, which means pretty much that board is probably going to have roughly between 128 to 256. They usually have a lot on those particular boards. 64 is not really considered high if you're talking about going freaking, you want to do an insane build, especially if you're going to spend $2,000 for a 5090. You're definitely going to go with a board that's going to have 128 or 256 for RAM. And on top of that, it says right here by your RAM, it's not even OC. So you know what OC is, right? OC is overclock. Yeah, you don't have that for your RAM. Okay, moving on. Let's see what we have here. And we have right here with this 4 terabytes of gaming and a solid state drive. Actually, there is basically the The WD Black, sorry, WD Blacks, they're not the high ends. I've seen RAM that costs way more money than this. Way more money. At $500 a stick, you could pay some serious money for some RAM. All right, and then he has the Crosshair AX 1600i digital ATX power supply. You don't even have your wattage here, which is 1600 watts, because you're missing that from the door. So everything I've seen here, we're missing something. Where's the motherboard? You forgot the motherboard. Any gamer, any PC gamer, any form of gamer at the end of the day would have not forgot the motherboard. That's the main component you need. You can't plug any of this stuff out without the motherboard. What is your motherboard? Because it's not even here. So clearly, you sent this email to try to, I guess, think I didn't know what I was talking about when it came to PCs? Man, I'm going to explain something to you. I was building PCs longer than your YouTube account exists. I was doing this stuff way before I got into this business. Before you even knew who I was or what I was about or anything, I was building PCs. I was building PCs since Windows 98. I think Windows 98? Yeah, Windows 98. I've been building PCs since 98, Windows 98. That's a long time to be building machines. So this is what it comes down to. When you got people at the end of the day, the devil tells them the dumbest things they could ever think of. Let's go in there. Let's try to embarrass a Christian. Let's try to make him think he doesn't know what he's talking about. Let me explain something to you. My knowledge comes from God. You understand me? It comes from God. You smarter than God? Do you believe you're smarter than God? I'm not going to put your name. I can get your name right here. I'm not going to put your name up. But are you smarter than God? No, you're not smarter than God, are you? All right, then. With that being said, my intelligence comes from building my machines. At the end, they comes from God. And to think that you need all this power to run off a Blackstar, come on, you kidding me? You seen the projectors we use in our demonstrations? We don't even use no high-end 4Ks, no high-end 1080p. We haven't used a 1080p yet in here since we've been using this stuff. No, it doesn't require that. That's the whole purpose of our technology, that customers don't have to spend all that high-end money for these high-end projectors, and you don't have to need no high-powered PCs to run off our system at the end of the day. So again, with that being said, moving on. Anyway, gee whiz Louise, he forgot the motherboard. I'm posting this. I gotta post this on my PC channel. Literally put down desktop processor. I knew when I saw desktop processor. Why do you put desktop processor next to a 5090? Like, where else would you be putting that thing at? You see the size of that thing? It's a cereal box. And then on top of that, of course you couldn't put down the motherboard. You know why? Because he'd explain the rest of the specifications, like the PCI Express port. Like, what is it? Do you have a 4.0? Oh, please don't put a 3.0 down there. If you put a 3.0, we're done. We're done. We're packing it up. We're done. A 4.0? A 5.0? The interesting thing about the RX graphic cards, some of them require 4.0 and 5.0s. They literally require it. There are some beast cards. The RX 7600, 6700. Even if you got like the 580s, the 580s will run stuff easily. Do you need a 5090? No, 5090 is for bragging. It's pretty much what it's for. You do need all that power. You don't need that power to begin with. On top of that, you're going to have some way to cool that thing down. You have to have a big enough case. You didn't even put your case down here. Oh, his case is missing. Who does not put down the case? Who does not put down the case when you're talking about your PC? I'm on that right. There we go. Who does not put down the case when you're talking about your PC? Because you got to have somewhere to put that board. That's a big board. That's a big CPU. You don't even have your case. The first thing they'll put down for their specifications is your case size. They'll put down the CPU, motherboard, and then they'll go in with the rest of the specs. Yeah. And then they put down best CPU in the world. Really? No. This is what I'm picking up. This is the one I'm getting. An i9-29K. Now again, this is the one you chose. This is the one you have right here. This is the one you have. You said best in the world, right? So best in the world, your cores, again, are 8. 16. Your threads are 16. 24. And that thing would kick your CPU's butt at the end of the day. Now, among This is why I said to him, because again, he's just grabbing random stuff. This is the same person who came in and put some stuff. He just said he had a 5090 and that's it. And I said, that's it. Where's the rest of your PC at? That's all you have? That's it? Then he came back in again and put down some specifications. He copied and pasted off something. That's what you did. Copied and pasted off something. So, okay, I got something here. I'm going to copy and paste. You know why? Because, again, no one ever puts down desktop PC when they're explaining their setup. Especially when you're looking at a 5090. That's a big card. Where else would you be sticking that thing at? You didn't even put down the size of your case because a 5090 doesn't fit in every case. You have to have particular cases that will fit that thing. On top of that, the liquid cooling system. How are you cooling this system down? Because I definitely know you ain't going with fan with a 5090. That's a piece of expensive card. Are you going to liquid cool the system? And again, depending on what size liquid cooling system. Are you going to use a 120, which is a single, a 240, 360, a 420? You're using any one of them. And if you're using those, especially, you're going to have a case to fit that stuff. Majority of most systems are going to run a 240 or 360, but 420 cases, they're a different type of case. That's a big system. That's a big cooling system. You're talking about 440 millimeter fans. That's a big system. So you're going to have a lot of room to accommodate that, the card, and everything else in there. So again, what kind of case are you using? No, there's no case on there. I'm curious where this motherboard's at. He has no motherboard on here. Who in their right mind starts off base? That's like somebody talking about building a car and you forget the chassis of the car itself. None of those parts are going to go anywhere unless you have the chassis of the vehicle to put the parts in. You're missing that. So, yeah, you're just a troll at the end of the day. Don't worry. The security crew that I paid at the end of the day to monitor my email accounts, they'll take a personal interest in you. I'll have all your... I'm pretty sure I think I have you in my PayPal account already, which I'm going to check. I'm just sending you out a nice little letter for harassing my company. It'll be a warning. You do it again, and next time I'm going to drag you into a court when I'm going to sue the daylights out of you. You understand? And don't send me this dumb nonsense. This is why y'all stuff gets blocked. This is why we never read it. It gets blocked. All that stuff gets blocked. They block everything that comes through. All right. Got that cleaned up. I got some things to do. Now, unlike these jokers at the end of the day who have nothing better to do at freaking 7:30. When did this email come through? 7:51 when this email comes through. You don't have a job at the end. You don't work. Right now, you should be in a car with a cup of coffee complaining about your day going to work. That's what you should be doing right now. And if it's your day off, you should be doing something much better than this. Don't you got things to repair around your place at the end of the day? Other things to do? Yeah, get cracking, Jackson. You got things to do. Life is too short to be doing this dumb stuff. I don't know what you call yourself sending me this dumb nonsense at the end of the day. Clearly, you copy and paste it or something. It's this desktop processor right there. It was like somebody trying to bring in a medical report from their doctor. You can see where it says WebMD over top, where they just went to a website and printed it out. Like, you do know it says WebMD at the top, right? You know it says right there, right there. No one's going to put down desktop processor. Nobody's going to do that. I remember when the 4090s came out. They were huge. We're trying to figure out how to stick one of those things into a case. Now they make cases much bigger now, like those fishbowl PCs they make them. They're huge. They're designed to accommodate all that good stuff. That case would be huge. He didn't even put down what size case. But he put down paint information and then went into asking us the gain of our product. We had that discussion years ago. No one's ever asked me that question ever again as we backed our product up years ago. So yeah, moving on. You explain to me at the end of the day, enlighten me, what screen has the gain to absorb sunlight? Please tell me that one. I have to something. I've never seen any of these high-end screens on a ceiling to begin with. Show me one. Bare windows. Anything? Nothing? Okay. Moving on. You got to be to back yourself up. Like Elite has that ceiling light projection. I tested that stuff. Actually does work. It does reflect light from the ceiling. I tested it. So they can make their own gain, as long as you can back it up. But you can't be coming out there with some deranged gain at the end of the day. Somebody, oh yeah, you paint the screen in different directions, and it pulls up a different completely gain. And we have no videos on this. I can't back up and support this. And if you email me, I'll never contact you back. That does not sound like a person who can back up a gain. But anyway, moving on to this shenanigan nonsense. Yeah, you're missing your motherboard. It's not here. And yeah, a Res 7, yeah, it's a nice CPU, but it's not the best in the world. Not the best in the world at all, period. Even though it came out in 2024, i7 that came out in 2021 would still run circles around this. So you can't say it's the best part in the world. See, that's the reason why you don't have, unless you have, like I said, one of the top PCs. I mean, you have a serious system, right? You can say that. You sit up there with a terabyte of RAM sitting on your system. You got a 5090, which is now the top card. You have like the best of the best. You got freaking like some insane stuff on your board. You got boards you can spend $3-4 grand for a board, $3,000 for a board. I wouldn't even bother going near the dual I processors because they don't take well. The 2011 servers I had back then, you could run 4 core processors off of it. It didn't really have a problem for that, but they were server boards to begin with. But yeah, this is all copied and paste stuff. This is what it is. Because no one in their right mind, he put down this himself. He put down here best CPU in the world, because no company's ever going to put down best CPU in the world knowing the CPU is much higher than this. They're never going to do that at all, period. But desktop processor, yeah, why would you even put that down there? Just makes you think sometimes, it really does. Okay, we're wasting the time on this mess. All right, so now you know why emails get blocked. I got to move on. I got things to do. I got people coming up to take a look at this new screen and this new invisible technology we're working on. And I got a projector coming in. I got work to do. And this person, at the end of the day, you're going to get an email from me. It's a cease and desist order. It'll be from an attorney telling you to back it down. If you don't back it down, I'll drag you into a courtroom and make your life miserable. Do you understand? I believe in giving people fair warning. I do. Take the warning, run with it. If you don't, your life will be a nightmare when I get done with you. That's it. I got work to do. Everybody else, enjoy your morning. Do something productive. You know, life is short. Like I said, every minute you waste, you could be doing something productive with it. This is not a waste of my time because it explains at the end of the day why you get blocked. Because these jokers will come on here, get blocked, and then cry on their YouTube channel. Oh, he's afraid to answer questions. He's afraid to do this. He's afraid to do that. He's trying to hide stuff at the end of the day. Well, you feel that? $500,000 contract, sign it. See you in court. See, we run one of them past them. They get quiet. You two want to sign the document? Sign the document. Come on, we'll walk into a courtroom in front of a judge. Oh, okay, then. Be quiet about it then. Got to move on. All right, people, got to go, and God bless.